Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UK Pro League Season 1 Qualifier number 2. This is a round 3 game and the second game of this series, so spawning in the top left hand corner as the Red Terran, playing for Clan Mythology, we have Nathan GS. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner as the Blue Zerg, playing for Team SC to Improve, we have Sabre. And it's something else I would like to point out. We were talking a game before last about drums, that he was a GG player. Sabre was also a GG player. So on the first team I was on, he was actually quite a late joiner, but he was one of those people who was always up for every match we played. A very nice guy, very useful to have on the team. And for those who don't know a bit about him, he has also in the past been the UK's Trackmania star, and well, with the new release of the new Trackmania game, who knows, could be making a comeback, but for now, he is sticking with that Starcraft and is playing very well, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays out this game. Nathan, once again, just going for the same wall off, not doing anything incredibly special as of yet. This map, once again, quite a big one, not as big as Whirlwind like we saw before, but still very big, going to make it much more difficult to smash through everything. Whereas Sabre also going for the early expansion on 14 or 15, I think it was. I think that might have been a 15 expand. And he's going to be able to throw down the spawning pool second he reaches 200 supply, which will be fairly soon. So it's the same build as last time pretty much for Sabre. There's the spawning pool. So neither player really deviating much from their previous strategy. So it'll be interesting to see whether Nathan, though, is going for the exact strategy he used last time with that really powerful push, or whether he's going to mix it up and do something else. Like the opening he's doing is just the standard Terran opening at the moment. It's basically one normal wall off against Zerg, one gas, and then you go wherever you want. Reapers also fairly usual. It's either Reaper if you want to scout and can't bother to use SCVs, or want to do some harassment, or just Marines if you want to play it safe, going to use the SCV to scout, feeling confident you can get the scout done with it. But for now, he is just going to use the Reapers. SCV going down to the natural expansion, so we will be seeing Nathan throwing down his expansion fairly soon. There is an Overlord spying on everything, going to be able to see when the expansion goes down. And there we go, down it goes. So Nathan is going, as we said, pretty much the same strategy as last time. Hasn't started any kind of natural wall off yet, but I actually missed when he did that last time. So I don't know when that will happen. And here goes the Reaper, going to try and do some damage. There is no speed yet. Speed has only just started. Once again, as Reaper's going to be able to rule the land for quite a while before that speed finishes. He's fighting on creep, though, which isn't the good strategy. Needs to try and keep as far off creep as possible. It's already killed off one Zergling, though, but it's just out of there. Let its health recharge. This map a lot more difficult because there's a lot less places to get into the main base via Reaper jump. It has a very wide area, but they're all pretty much watchable via a few locations. So it's a bit more difficult. There are now two Reapers, so he's going to once again try that poking strategy that he did last time. And Sabre has already got his second gas, but hasn't done anything with it yet, hasn't put any workers in it. Reapers did poke in, weren't able to do any damage, instead of had to get out of there due to a massive loss of health. Whereas Sabre, he has Zergling speed about halfway done, so it's very soon he's going to be able to easily push this off. And he has very good Overlord spread, so he's seeing exactly where the Reapers are, and he has engaged the Reapers here, and has managed to push them back again, keeping himself alive. As we did just see a second ago, Nathan is beginning the production of his orbital command on that expansion. And Reapers pushing in, we're able to kill off two Zerglings there, but being pushed back by the Queens. Zergling speed is just about to finish, so we'll probably see a small influx of Zerglings being produced there to help kill off these Reapers when they next enter. For now, though, it is just Overlords, and the Roach Warren's on the way. There's the wall off by Nathan, so he's keeping himself very safe. Throwing down a reactor on a building. I need to click on that to check. Throwing down a reactor on the barracks. Already has a reactor on his factory, so he knows exactly what he is doing. He's going the exact same strategy as last time. He's going to be able to produce Marines out of the reactor barracks. He's going to be producing Hellions or Battle Hellions once he has the armory, which he's just about to. out of the second out of the factory, and Marauders out of the third barracks with the tech lab. So this is pretty much an identical strategy to last time from Nathan, whereas Sabre also going very similar, already has his third base, has a sort of semi-wall off with his evolution chambers as he did last time, but that's really what stopped him from insta-dying last time. So it's not going to stop him from insta-dying this time, but it might be able to keep him alive longer. It's not going to be as useful because the third base is a lot more vulnerable this time. There goes the Overlord. Sabre now knows he's up against pretty much exactly the same as last time. He's gonna want to begin producing units as soon as possible. And here comes Zergling upgrades for Sabre, getting melee first rather than the range upgrade for those roaches. Interesting strategy, I think, considering he knows he is fighting Hellbats if he was paying attention to where that Overlord was. So a bit of an interesting strategy here. I'm not so sure about this. Here comes some roaches, unless he intends on using the roaches as melee units, which you can do. I'm not sure if they take the melee upgrades if that does happen though. So that is something I'm going to have to look up because that is a very interesting one. He's also getting his Baneling Nest. Those do, on the other hand, benefit from melee upgrades. The lovely, lovely Banelings. So Sabre getting it a bit earlier this time before the attack. So going to be able to use it for defense. 18 Zerglings and 3 Roaches on the way. He wants to make sure he can defend this as well as he possibly can. Upgrades very close to finishing, 2/3 done, and Nathan is on the way with his first push. Exact same strategy as last time. In the meantime, though, Sabre just trying to keep himself in a good position, wants to make sure he has enough units to produce this. 4 more roaches on the way, and he still has a fair amount of minerals, so another 6 Zerglings on the way. This is going to be a very interesting defense. Like you can see, the wall isn't as strong as last time. He can stop it, block that off with 1 queen, but if he's not prepared like he was last time, the army can get straight past. Nathan chose not to do that because it's very risky to do, but on this map, it's not so much. There's only one other location they could be coming from in that situation. And here we go. Nathan has made it across the map. His Hellbats are mostly at the front. There is a Hellion there as well. Marines pushing forward. And he's pulled back the Marines to try to avoid the Banelings, which aren't really there at the moment. And the Marauders have already gone down. Roaches now engaging Marines and a single Marauder. And this is looking really good for Sabre. He's easily got the units to crush this attack this time. In a much better position to last time. He saw what he was up against and easily crushed this attack. However, there isn't now a drop going into the main. Sabre is going for the counter-attack, but he's already producing 7 Roaches at home in order to help defend against this small drop. And there's already some Zerglings doing some nomming in this situation. Roach already there, Queen helping do the damage. And this drop is going to be squished and squashed. Nathan already has a couple units at home which may be able to help defend against this. Nothing in the bunker right now. Needs to start loading units in there. There we go. Throws a Marauder and some Marines into that. Zergling's dying down, but the bunker goes down quite quickly. Here come the Roaches. There's some Banelings in the back there. Going to be able to push through. Taking down some SCVs here that were blocking the path. Roaches now pushing in. There's not much here to defend here for Nathan. Roaches doing massive damage. Marines, though, doing really well against these Roaches. Marauder in the top as well, doing the damage. More Roaches reinforcements, but it's not going to be enough. Sabre having to pull back. Players trading blow for blow here in their attacks. Neither able to break the other's defense. Good killing of the bunker there by Sabre, but there's easily enough units to push him back at the moment. But there's a big wave of Zerglings coming in. There's no Hellbats ready at this point. Here come the Zerglings. This could turn the tide, but no, he's pulling back and needs to wait for those Banelings, and they're not ready. The eggs are going to be killed off. No, I don't think there was there was cancels. Very well done there by Sabre, keeping them alive. Sabre was not ready, didn't have the eggs, was not ready for that attack. So very close there, but not choosing to risk it. And as I said, both players just trading blow for blow right now, neither able to take the other down. Nathan is not even bothering to re-wall off at this point. He wants to kill his opponent as quick as possible. He's building 2 medevacs, 2 Marauders, 3 Marines at a time. He's not even building Hellbats anymore. I think he's given up on that one altogether. I'm not even sure where his factory's gone at this point. He's built a 3rd base but hasn't expanded with it yet. There is actually a Zergling in his 3rd base area to prevent that. And the drop in the main base hasn't dropped many of his units there. Is now dropping into that expansion. Queen does see the medevac, so he's going to know where the army is. Here come the Zerglings surrounding that easily. Needs to get out of there. Queen's doing, well, minute amounts of damage to those medevacs, but the Zerglings are everywhere, easily going to be able to defend against this, but they're not going to be able to get there hugely quickly, so these Marines are going to be able to get a bit of worker damage if they attack now. There we go, get at least 1 worker. They may need to get out there now because there's a lot of Zerglings there, and they're just going to go straight back to the battery expansion where there are now no units because Sabre is responding to the attack with all of his units to keep him alive. Doing a good lot of defense here, and Sabre is finally going to be able to kill it off. Nathan not keeping up this time, not able to pick up his units. So, well, you can't defend, you can't keep up with it every time. Nathan's attack finally killed off, but he was able to keep Sabre on his toes, keep Sabre producing units, and stop him doing huge amounts of harassment. Nathan finally beginning to take his third base, moving out, going to secure that kill off the Zergling that was blocking the way. In the meantime, though, Sabre is moving out onto the map with a large amount of Zerglings. More roaches are going to come and join from the back. The medevacs do see them, don't see the roaches. Now they see the roaches, so he knows exactly what's coming. Nathan needs to make sure he's in a position to defend against this. No, he's not even going to defend against this. He's going to engage it head on with his army. He needs to make sure that siege tanks are sieged up when he engages. So, Sabre not to engage directly, though, keeping himself in a good defensive position, pulling back, not wanting to engage into the tanks. I'm not even sure if he's seen the tanks. He has now, anyway, under that Overlord. So he knows there are siege tanks, and there's a supply block, but Sabre already building 3 Overlords in order to compensate for that. And he's finally getting that Baneling speed and his plus 2/2 for his melee units and armor for those roaches. Nathan still pushing forward. Doesn't have a huge amount of Marines, but the 2 tanks are going to be huge in doing this. And however, Nathan hasn't even started saturating his base yet. Here come the Zerglings pushing forward, get the goods surrounding the tanks. Marines not able to do damage to kill off the Zerglings quick enough. Tanks all go down. Huge army here from Sabre smashes through that attack. There was, however, drops in the main and the third base while this was going on, and the rest of the units are now being moved to the main base to join with that first drop. Roaches coming in to help defend against this, but there's already units in the main base mineral line doing the damage here. Third base attack has finally been stopped. The main base has finally been stopped, but these last 3 units are going back to the third base to try and do the damage here. Try and keep up the harassment with each failed attack. He just goes in for more harassment. Another drop going into the natural expansion, but the army was already there, not keeping up to date on this. So this is very difficult here for Nathan. He's doing some good harassment, but he's not keeping up to date on his units. He's losing so many units in these drops. He's basically just sacrificing everything. And albeit he's doing the economic damage, that he's doing some economic damage, he's losing so many units for it. The question is it worth it? Sabre hasn't lost too many units in each of the engagements. He's been able to keep on top of it, and as such, his army supply has just been getting bigger and bigger, which is going to make it very difficult. Look at how many roaches there are. There's so many Zerglings as well. He can easily morph summon to Banelings. The medevacs have seen everything. Would love to see at least something to kill off the medevacs. Another drop into the expansion. Zerglings and roaches being pulled back to deal with this, choosing not to just go for a counter-attack. Easily going to be able to kill off this drop. So now Sabre is going to try and go for the counter-attack. Killed off the drop. Overlord has seen everything. Purely mule mining is Nathan on that third base. Not even started SEVing it yet. There are now 3 tanks here for Nathan. Pushing out, gonna want to engage in a good position. Tanks are not sieged, and he's beginning the engagement. Zerglings not really getting good positioning either. The Banelings were not ready. And yes, someone pointing out, yes, Banelings do actually auto-cancel. I completely forgot about that. So that is very useful for them. Tanks not even needed. Once again, Sabre choosing not to engage directly. And why would you? Nathan actually has a very strong army here. Sabre needs to start morphing Banelings before he attacks. Here we go. He's morphing Banelings here rather than morphing them outside his opponent's base, where Nathan was already out on the map. Sabre not with enough map awareness. And here we go. Sabre would not want to engage here without those Banelings, and he's gonna get off one shot. The Banelings are now here though, and those Marauders though splitting off very well. Where are the tanks in this situation? So many roaches. Roaches finally reaching that tank line. The Marines are very well split, but there's not enough of them anymore. So many died earlier to Banelings. And Sabre easily pushes through this. He's now attacking with pretty much a pure roach force. There's not really that much home for Nathan. He's producing a tank, getting some marauders. There is already 1 tank ready and a couple units at home. Sabre could push through this, but deciding not to. Need to keep that Baneling alive, doesn't, but is able to kill off a couple Marines and Marauder in exchange. Not able to deal the finishing blow yet. Both players still keeping even on supply. Nathan somehow keeping in this. Sabre really needs to throw down a 4th and get himself a base ahead of his opponent. He's had the map control to do this for a while, but just hasn't done it. Needs to engage here. He's losing so many units as they just run past. The tank is there in the back. Zerglings surround the tank. Going to be able to get it. Second tank is taking the damage, but there's already Marines here protecting it. Roach is not enraged to shoot it down. Need to keep pushing forward. So many Marines doing damage. Bailing's hitting huge amounts of damage on the Bio army. Roach is just smashing forward. More Bailings coming in from the back, but there's so many units in the way here. Tank needs to die as soon as possible. Bailing's finally getting through, being blocked by Roaches. Not even getting through, being killed off. Roaches are dying now. The Medivacs are healing the rest of the Bio army. The that comes through, taking the damage, and Sabre has once again been pushed back, retreating to the third base of Nathan. Gonna try and do the damage, killing off a lot of SCVs. The SCVs are now retreating out, and Nathan is engaging into this. He's gonna be able to win this battle here, pushing back the Roaches. He only lost a couple SCVs there. Really good position for Nathan, but I'm going to have a quick look at the workers killed. 30 workers killed by Nathan to only 16 by Sabre. Sabre not able to bring it back. Sabre has only just thrown down a third base while he's in the retreating position. A fourth base, sorry. If Nathan decides to go that way, he will run straight into it. But the thing is, he hasn't gone that way yet. And he has no reason to now. He's just going to continue attacking in the same direction that he always has. So this is really, really difficult for Sabre. He's very far behind in supply now. It's 95 to 152. And if we have a look at the army supply, it's 104 to 37. This is going to be incredibly difficult for Sabre to defend against right now. And it's the March of the Valkyries right now for Nathan as he just moves the entire army into the main base of Sabre. Going to be able to do huge amounts of damage, and tanks are now sieged up in the main base. This is going to be so difficult for Sabre to defend against. He's going to have to engage into his main base. Tanks are now sieged up, doing huge amounts of damage. The expansion did go down. I think that was actually I'm not sure if that was a lair or a hive. I think it was a lair. And this is going to be so difficult for Sabre. He needs to gather his army at the same time. Nathan is moving the rest of his units back across the map. The reinforcement units back across the map to defend against the Ling run by that came into the third base while all this was going on. But he easily has enough to defend against this with his reinforcements. And at the same time, he's just going to continue doing huge amounts of damage. He's going to be able to kill off a macro hatch. He's going to be able to kill off a queen. Sabre is not in the position he needs to be to defend this. These tanks need to siege up though, because Sabre does have the units to defend this if those tanks are sieged up and he can get to them quickly. But really nice positioning here. Sabre needs to engage this. He's losing so much right now, and he's just, I'm not even sure what he's waiting for. He's just waiting for his next section of 10 roaches right now. And here we go. There they pop. They need to group up with the rest of the roaches, slow to them dying straight away, and they're engaging right now. Here come the Banelings, mostly exploding. Gonna get a couple of Marines here, but the tank's killing them off so quickly. Roaches getting in range of further attack. Second one still doing huge amounts of damage, but so many Marauders left being killed by the Medivacs, and he pushes him back. Sabre being pushed back out of his own natural expansion right now, not being able to engage, and Sabre leaves the game. GG, and Nathan takes the second game of the series and moves on